Hi. Today I'm going to do a quick video demonstrating a method to beat Dozer, or Desaix, in Fire Emblem Gaiden for the Famicom. The reason I'm making this video is because I don't know for sure that this method is widely known, and I just wanted to show it off. If it is, sorry for wasting your time, I guess. But a lot of the recommendations I see in various places on how to do this is they'll say, oh, you need to grind a ton. And I see people say, oh, I grinded all the way to tier 3 or whatever. But actually you don't need to do that. And in fact, I'll go over a little bit later. That would actually not help very much, I don't think. But I'm going to show that I have not grinded very much. You can see all on level 4. Robin is grinded here. I grinded him to level 7, or 6 rather, just so he could get the Excalibur magic, since that's where he learned it in Gaiden. It's not required, it's just very useful to have Excalibur for later on. Cliff did not level him very much at all. Forest, not leveled at all. Gray, not very leveled. Silk, I did grind a bit to get her to level 7 so she got Warp, but actually Warp is not required for this, I think. Lucas, I did level him up to promotion, but I actually did not need to grind him at all for that. You can actually get him to level 7 just by feeding him kills leading up to the Liberation HQ. And Steve, not promoted. Claire, not leveled. Python, not leveled. And then all the other things too to mention is that I gave Lucas 1 point of speed from the bonuses in the Thief Shrine, just so that he can double Dozer. And then I gave Claire 1 point of defense, also from the other shrine in the Liberation HQ. And then I gave 2 other points of speed to Silk, just so that she would be easier to train, but that's not necessary for this, for actually performing the strategy. So we'll just go ahead and get started. And I won't be talking very much because I'm supposed to be moving around, which is not very interesting to talk over. So I'll just mention to we'll look at Desaix here, of course. Desaix has very high stats compared to his little lieutenant here, Slater. Of course, the game very much expects you to kill Slater. He's much easier to get to than Dozer is. And of course, as soon as you kill him, Dozer disappears. And then Dozer, he of course has the stats of a tier 3 unit. His speed is actually quite low, which is very fortunate because it makes him very easy to double, even though his other stats are very high. But his defense and his magic defense are very high, thanks to his Dragon Shield. In fact, I think his defense here might be the highest of any unit, or at least any boss of the game. I think it's even higher than Duma's. Just start moving units around, and I'll start talking again when there's actually things to explain. Okay, so now that we've stopped moving units on, I can actually explain a little bit of the strategy. So what we're going to do first is we have to get Slater out of the way, because otherwise he will actually, some interesting things about his AI, he will actually not heal, I found, even if you weaken him. So you need to get him out of the way. One quirk of his AI, I guess not just his AI, but any AI that's programmed like his in the game, they're programmed to go after, he's programmed to go after anyone who enters his range. But unlike you might think, and I think like happens in later games, including in Echoes, so I think this strategy will actually not work exactly quite the same way in Echoes, is that he will follow you, and then, but if you leave his range, he will just stop. He won't continue to try and chase you down, so that's very convenient for us. And as you can see at base, Claire gets doubled by him. So that's why I gave her the point of defense, so that she could survive 2 rounds of combat with him. She's actually gained a point of speed, so that's not required anymore, but I didn't want to make that assumption. 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, of course, one of the most annoying things about the map is that it's all on indoor terrain, so enemies always have slight avoidance, which can be quite annoying. While warp isn't required for this strategy, it's quite convenient for periods like this. So we're just going to cheat a little bit and have... Actually, no, we're going to warp Robin, not Grave, because I'm just sick and tired of dealing with this RNG. That's another reason to prefer to try and get Excalibur for this, because Excalibur does have a much higher, very high base accuracy, and it does not have to worry about terrain bonuses. Yeah, I'd actually not mean to do that, but actually I think this works out a little bit in our advantage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay, so now that I've got everybody in position, I'll talk a little bit more. So one of the important things here is to have Luca promoted, which, as I said, you can do without grinding. Even with this base promotion, he gains so much defense and HP that he can actually survive 2 hits from Dozer. At base, he doesn't get doubled. He has the same speed as Dozer does, but I gave him 1 extra point of speed just so that he will double him. As you can see, nobody I have here has anywhere approached to closing higher than higher attack than his defense or resistance. So we're just going to be doing 1 damage to him per attack. Luckily, Gaiden is one of those games where even if you have less defense, you still do 1 damage, so that's quite convenient here. Anyway, I have Dave now. Alm has the leather shield, so he has 11 defense, which will again give him just enough to survive 2 hits from Dozer. Lucas did get 1 point of defense from level up, but that doesn't actually matter. Another thing to note is even without that level up, he would have 12 defense, which puts him 1 over Alm here, and so Dozer will prefer to attack Alm. Not that it matters in this case, because they both will double him. Okay, and this is one of the reasons why I recommended to grind one of your mages to get Excalibur. Is just so. It's not required, but it just makes things go much easier. And so we have him trapped here, he won't be able to move, and we can just wail on him with whoever we want, basically. And we can have Gray over here. Put Gray over here in this little alcove here, which doesn't look like it should be a place where you can move, but it is. And that's just so that we can have an extra space here so that Silk can rush over to Alm or Lucas and administer healing as needed. And of course, this comes down to RNG because, like I said, the terrain here is quite annoying. Okay. I'll just leave it at that, and we will try and get this over as quickly as possible. Just short commentary on just what happened. Once Dozer gets down to a certain point, I've noticed that his AI, there should be one turn where he doesn't attack, but as you'll see from now on, I believe he will start attacking again. This is actually a pretty common occurrence for AI in this game. Okay, and that was how to kill Dozer in Fire Emblem Gaiden. Hopefully this will be helpful to you if you want to try this on your own. Maybe there's some other strategy you would like to try. Have a nice day, evening, or whatever time of day it is where you are. Bye.